What's up, guys? My name is Nick, and this is the ROK Music Review, your place to discover and discuss Korean music. And we got a little bit of news. A little bit of news that kind of like broke a week ago, and I don't know really if it was such a big thing, but it is an issue and a situation, of course, that I would like to kind of comment on. I actually got someone who came and posted a comment on my on a previous video about some comments that a producer had about what Produce 101 is all about, and what that is. And they said, hey, maybe this little thing with Suzy and her controversy and all that stuff over the Lolita photo shoot that I guess she had, the people were labeling as that she had I don't even know, it was a long time ago. In the past, people dug that up and was like, wow, that's inappropriate. And like, and this is the thing, and I think that the photographer and all that stuff really kind of put it in the best way, which, just like to paraphrase and to summarize what exactly she was saying, is, or he, I don't remember that, I don't know that specifically, but basically what the photographer said is like, it's whatever you make of it. It is however you choose to portray it. So if someone chooses to take an image of her with a children's book and then say like, oh my god, that's sexual, or sexualizing, children and stuff like that. Like, no, I mean, it's not. I mean, that's your interpretation. And that's the great thing about, music and art and, photography and all that kind of stuff, is like, you're free to read into, whatever it is you want, draw whatever your conclusions are on, what the meaning or what the symbolism is of, song, or work of art, picture, any of that stuff, right? But like a children's book being used in a picture of an adult isn't necessarily, perverse or sexually explicit. The only thing that makes it that is what you think of it. So it's not. It is the whole thing. This whole thing, and the same thing with the similar oh my god Lolita thing with IU that happened with her last album. It's really down to nothing but the people who are interpreting it or choosing to read too much into it, or whatever their interpretation of it. And so it's not really a reason to be like, oh my god, she's taking pictures that are like, I don't know, kind of trying to portray her in a much younger kind of imagery or something like that. And then of course now all of a sudden that's sexualizing young girls, or that's just sexual in nature. But it's not. It really isn't. And I mean, and the thing is that, like, I think that it really comes down to the fact that K-pop idols in general, whether they're male or female, are just like inherently sexualized by a pretty large amount of the fan base. Especially younger people, understandably, teenagers and all that stuff, have a, to some extent, some sort of sexual attraction to, these people. And so people who have, kind of are looking at the subject of, a picture in that way, where, they see them perform on stage and they're like, oh my god, would you check her out? She's so hot. She's attractive, totally sexy. And then you see her in a picture that is like this, totally innocent, kind of fun, just something that's a little bit of a creative expression. And then all of a sudden they take their viewpoint that they've got of this person when they see them on stage or in a music video or as part of a K-pop group, and then they apply it to the picture inappropriately, because it's just not, it just isn't, And ultimately, like I said, and like the photographer said, it's nothing to do with what the reality is, or you can make the reality whatever you want, because it is open to your own interpretation. So it's really stupid to be outraged about thoughts that you had, right? Is what I think, because it's like, I don't think that any of those pictures that they highlighted are, particularly, sexually explicit or suggestive or, sexual in nature. I don't think that. Right? I personally don't. So I don't view those pictures like that. But of course, somebody else did. And so they view them like that. And then they chose to make a big deal out of it. Which is like, I think that really kind of shows the mentality of that individual and where their thoughts are. Where their thoughts are based. And their viewpoint on things. Because if you see things that are like that, or imagery that is like that, as something that is sexually suggestive or perverse, then I think there's something wrong with you before there's anything wrong with the subject of the picture or the photographer taking the picture. Ultimately, I really think that's what it comes down to. Like I said, it really does kind of stem from the at least tiny percentage of sexual objectification, I guess you can say. I don't even know if that's really the right word or even a word, but you know what I mean. People like K-pop idols, male and female, for like I said, a portion of the K-pop fandom or audience out there are sexual objects to a small degree, and I think that the people who are complaining about this really transferred their viewpoint on idols on stage and on TV and stuff like that to a photo shoot. And then I don't know why it came up. Well, it did come up now because it's a reason to trash her while she's just releasing a brand new music song. So there's also that. So there might be some malicious intent behind it as well, behind whoever started this whole thing in general, and the timing of her new release. So it very well could be like an anti-fan or someone who just likes to stir shit up just because it's fun. And that's really the thing, ultimately, that is really kind of, terrible about the internet, is that, like, when one person posts something kind of crappy or, inflammatory, or just to be a troll or anything like that, it really encourages that behavior from other people, whether or not they actually, like, legitimately do believe and think what they are saying. Is that it just is like this hive mind that is really, 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 really easy to, like, control and incite and get people all stirred up on the internet. So you can say, oh my god, what a, I can't believe she would, be in these pictures, Lolita is so bad, it's terrible, it's, sexual in nature and stuff like that. And then people who are like, yeah, she used a children's book in that picture. Yeah, it's so terrible. Why would you? But, whether or not they actually really believe that, I don't know. I cannot say, of course, because I'm not them. But I do think that, too, that might have a part to do with it as well. Because somebody who has a thing to, or reason to, like, bring her down, drag her down in any way that they possibly can, and was like, I know an easy way to, stir up some sort of controversy, something to, like, that potentially could be a, bad mark on her and her new promotions, is just to, say something bad, and then the internet's going to take it wherever it wants. And there's always people there who are going to think, there's always going to be a group of people somewhere on the internet, in some corner of the internet, who think or share similar thoughts to whatever you put out there, and then they will spread and propagate the garbage throughout the rest of the internet, and then make it into a bigger deal than it really is. So, ultimately, I think it's dumb, and there's really nothing in it, And like I said, and like the photographer said, I shared this like 3 billion times already in this video. It's all up to it's all up to individual interpretation, right? And that's why, the creative arts or creative things like this are so awesome, is because, you can interpret something one way, or like I can interpret something one way, and somebody else can interpret something the other way. Like, as an example, like recently, right? I think it was Snooper, I think, one of the Christmassy kind of songs that got released, which I said was a pretty happy it was a happy feeling kind of song, but then somebody in the comments said it was actually a sad song because the guy in the music video didn't have any friends, and all of his, like, actual friends in the music video were just imaginary, not really there, right? Whereas I was like, it's kind of a fun sort of song, for, I guess, kind of the same reason, but not really. So that's why it's great, is because, I have this one viewpoint on this song, or these pictures, or, anything else, and you or anybody else can have, their own viewpoint on, the song or the pictures or anything like that. And I mean, they're entirely valid, but it's not really, I think, valid to be outraged and complain about your interpretation of a piece of art. I think it's inappropriate, as far as, like, that you shouldn't do that. So that's what I got. I know this is like a week after the fact of this story kind of breaking, so I don't know. Hopefully you've heard anything. I don't know. Anyway, I want to just ask you a question, like, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of just this entire topic of, people interpreting, imagery or music or anything like that in whichever way that they feel and then being outraged over it? Just, I don't know, what do you think of that? Or just in general, give me your thoughts and ideas on the, this entire situation in general. You can do that down in the comments below or through social media. I've got links to my Twitter profile, my Facebook page, a bunch of other things down in the description box below. So click on those and give me a follow to get connected. And while you're checking those out, then you can also, if you would like, buy some K-pop albums through Amazon. Of course, you gotta do your, shopping around to find the best deal. And if Amazon is the best deal, then I do encourage you to buy them from there. Because one, you'll get something cool and you'll support the artist. And two, I will get something a little bit in return as well. So it's a win-win for you and me, which is the best kind of situation. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time.